What was the scripture again?
John 17 and 19.
Alright, let's clap it up.
Shalom. We got the I.S.U.P.K coming out 1 West on 25th Street, Harlem, New York, and the commandant, GEN.YAHANNA. Today's topic is Brotherhood. What is the exact
Unity rebuilds.
Unity rebuilds Brotherhood. Unity rebuilds, because here's the thing, this is one thing that integration has done for us. It has destroyed our ability to rebuild.
Right.
You know, you can't, if you're integrated, you can't rebuild anything if you're integrated. Right. You have an integrated mindset. That's the biggest problem right there, is having an integrated mindset. You can't rebuild anything on that. You see, it's like what was it, like oil and water. You know, you just get the two just don't go together. They don't mix.
Right.
Let's start with John chapter 17 and verse 19. The pink oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
Book of John chapter 17 verse 19. And for their sakes I sanctify myself, that they also might be sanctified through the truth.
Wait a minute. John 17 and hold on. I think that's wrong.
You said 17 and 19?
Right.
Unless you're thinking of 1st or 2nd John.
I pray not for the world. Maybe I wrote that down.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you. It's going to be John 17 and 9.
Oh, okay. John
9 through 19, but 17 and 9.
All right, count that shit right there. Slide. Maybe I heard that wrong. John chapter 17 verse 9. I pray for them. I pray not for the world.
When Christ said he prayed for them and not for the world, who is he talking about? Anybody?
Go ahead. I pray for them. I pray not for the world. So when he say not for the world, he's talking about that age of society. So when he's talking about I pray for them, he's talking about that specific group of people that was his audience.
Right.
So we're talking about the Israelites here.
Right. Exactly. Yes. That's exactly what he's talking about. Go ahead. Just like with what's going on, if I could, just like with what's going on, concerning what happened with the brother got shot by the police.
Right. Yeah, Dante Wright.
Dante Wright. It's like what happened with him. Now, the messed up thing and what happened in Louisville with that little girl that got choked by the cop in Louisville. Right. It happened in Park Hill Projects in Louisville.
Recently.
Right. This happened just like 2 days ago.
Yeah, about 2 days ago, yeah.
Right. A little girl got the police, a little girl, like somebody like Ebony's age. Right.
Yeah.
And the police choked her. I think he choked her out. A big old cop too. No, I don't think he killed her. But still,
still like a child.
Right. He's a big old devil, big testosterone, big, one of them big steroid.
He a musclehead. He a musclehead.
Yeah. That's how the cops are in Louisville. They ain't like other places where they have the big, out of shape cops and all of that. The cops in Louisville, all of them they the super athletic type build, or a lot of them look like power lifters. Stuff like that, and he was no exception. Big old devil, and they brought the whole, it was about 100 police. They had them vehicles like we was talking about earlier. They had all of those different type of vehicles and everything for that one, incident. And one of the brothers yelled out, "Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter." And everybody started chanting Black Lives Matter. But the thing about it, Black Lives Matter, you have white people getting in on that too.
Yeah.
You know, and they're in it for their own interests. Anytime that we join with somebody else, they're in it for their own interest. You can't rebuild like that. You know, you can't rebuild with them. That's why that story in Nehemiah is so important. The one where we was building the temple and they wanted to build with us, but we knew better than to have them to build with us, because what would they try to do? They try to sabotage everything, right? When we did not let them in, what were they trying to do then? They were trying to kill some of us to stop the building.
Oh, God.
Remember that?
God.
They were trying to. So now you have brothers that had to have a sword in one hand and be building with the other hand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Building, doing whatever they needed to do with the other hand, while their hand is on their sword.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so they can labor with one hand and defend with the other. It had to be like that. And so now we think today that these heathens today are any exception? Are different from the heathens back then? Hell no.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Hell no. The kingdom of the Lord is coming now, so they really going to try and mess everything up.
Sister, like, I had a question. You sure it's Nehemiah? Because I see the one in Ezra. Are you talking about Zerubbabel and Jeshua? You talking about that story?
No, I'm talking about the story with the one where the dude had the Ammonite father-in-law.
Okay, it probably is different, because I'm seeing something different that's similar to what you're talking about. You mind if I read it?
Good.
Okay. Ezra chapter 4, verse 3. But Zerubbabel and Jeshua and the rest of the chief of the fathers of Israel said unto them, Ye have nothing to do with us to build an house unto our God.
That's it. That's it right there. That is it.
And it's more. It's a lot, if you don't mind. But we ourselves together will build unto the Lord God of Israel, as King Cyrus, the king of Persia, have commanded us. But then it gets better, right? And also too, this is actually related to Hebrew Academy as well. For Brotherhood. Yeah. Verse 4. Then the people of the land weakened the hands of the people of Judah and troubled them in building. Verse 5.
And why did they go? Why did they go to that specific tribe? Why did they go to the specific tribe of Judah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's because we are the most hated.
Yeah, you own to it. You own to it. But the thing about it, you got to think. Who is this? Who, like when the truth kicked off in America? Who were the seven heads made up of? What was our business?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What was the three men that he raised up under him, going into the seven heads? Go ahead.
It's like I'm not sure if I'm going to be hitting on the same thing that you was talking about, but during that time, the tribes that were involved were still predominantly Southern Kingdom. And during this time, like the comparison that you was making, the tribes that weren't involved, with the kind of reawakening of it, was predominantly Southern Kingdom.
Yeah, but also too, they went to Judah because Judah is like the most influential of the tribes. If you could hurt, everybody else would be easier to control.
And they were the leader of the nation at that time.
Right. You know, you hurt Judah, everybody. That's why they go ahead.
If you hurt Judah, everybody else is going to follow behind Judah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. You hurt Judah, everybody else would follow, because you had people of other tribes that were there. That joined into their own, nation and everything. If they can hurt, like I said, they can hurt Judah and Judah's influence. Just like that's why they want so many of the tribe of Judah to be cool. Right. That's the reason why they always put us in like stardom, like as far as make us, the big celebrities so they can use our influence against us. Right. Because, like, say, for instance, somebody like Michael Jordan and all that, we love the way he plays ball. We love the certain rappers and everything, the way that they, you know, do stuff and all of that, right? So, if you can put these guys in a dress, which, you see what I'm saying? If you can put these dudes in a dress, then that'll permeate the nation right there. That'll permeate the nation and blend that homosexual spirit into the nation, which is a point that I want to bring out concerning that, which I will, you know, later on in the class. But that's the reason why they go for Judah. And also with the riots that's going on. Right. Who is people following behind? Yeah, exactly. You know, there's the riots and stuff that happened in L.A. Who kicked it off? The tribe of Judah, and Issachar came in behind Judah and joined up with Judah. You see what I'm saying? That's the way that things go. You know, when it's an uprising in us in the tribe of Judah. You know, because remember when you go back to Genesis, it said, "Unto him shall the gathering of the people be." It's talking about it. Notice it's more than one fold, because not only is this talking about Christ, because I mean, think about it, it's talking about King David, King Solomon, going down to Christ, Peter, down to, you know, all the way down to us, down to I.S.U.P.K, of the tribe of Judah, the 7 heads. Everybody else joined on. It's like Voltron lines, you know, right. You know how they all connect. You know, they all connect to that one body, right? You know, that head being the tribe of Judah. That's why they make us into these superstars and all of that. You know, then they think, you know, they destroy our image, which destroys everybody else too. You know. And that's one of the reasons why they make sure that they keep their foot on our necks also. Because if they got us in fear, what does it do for everybody else? It puts them in fear also. Because if you got a king and your king is afraid, how the people gonna be? Right. But if your king is bold and brave, how's the people gonna be? Exactly. And they would join into their king. You know, just like when King David was, you know, warring against King Saul and everything, you know, you had the Gadites come. Whole big tribe of the Gadites who was off in the cut at first. You know, remember what it said, the men of Gad whose faces were like lions and swift as roes up on the mountain, came and did what? Joined themselves to King David. Right? Because at first, remember, King David only had a small band of men of the tribe of Judah, right? Next thing you know, everybody else started coming and joining in, to where the nation was, you know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, he had all 12 tribes on lock up under the rulership of King David, where we was united. And then when that thing went bad, we got divided and so on and so forth, you know. I'm not going into all of that right now, but let's pull another scripture right quick. Let's go to Amos chapter 3 and verse 6. The 6 toes the devil that the Bible speaks of. Yeah, right. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we got to stop letting them, you know, taint our image, you know, and destroy us. We got to grab back control of our own image. That's one thing that an enemy loves to do, loves to destroy your image, you know, so that nobody listens to you, you know.
Amos chapter 3 verse 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city and the people not be afraid?
Because the trumpet means what? War. Right? If somebody being invaded, you're being attacked, what's actually going on right now with this whole thing that happened with the brother Dante Wright? Right, the trumpet has been blown, right? And people are afraid. Where they gonna put the city, they put the city on lock. Afraid that the people gonna tear up the city. And then you have the people talking about, well, you know, they tearing up their own city. How's it your city, our city? And if you keep doing things to people and expect for them not to do anything back or not to have any type of, you know, everybody wants us to be a people that you can just do anything to.
Say it one more time.
I said everybody wants us to be a people that you can do anything to.
Right. A punching bag.
Right. Everybody's punching bag.
Right.
You know, everybody's footstool.
Right.
They want us to spiritually be like that image with that white man sitting in that chair and he got his feet on that little black boy's back. Right. Anybody ever see that image?
All the time.
Everybody wants us to stay just like that. You know, everybody wants us to be like that. Go ahead.
And there shall be evil in the city, and the Lord hath not done it.
Wait a minute. So, do we know what that means? That means the Lord is causing the riots.
Right.
Think about it. What's being hit? What's being destroyed? Strongholds. The city's money is being hit when people riot downtown. Don't the scripture say the Lord is a man of war? Right? They ain't just tearing up anything, right? Just to be doing it. Because that's what people try to make it look like. You know, they try to go ahead.
Slack out. I was going to wait till you finish your
point. Okay. You know, they ain't just tearing up just anything. You know, they're tearing up stuff that's important to the city. Mm-hmm. Things that mean something. Things that bring in money. They're tearing up the downtown, you know, and where people have to board their stuff to be secured from their stuff being vandalized, right? Mm-hmm. And guess what else is shutting down? Christian churches.
Right.
They're getting boarded up too. Because the Christian church, every time the white man's afraid, the Christian church, they're afraid too.
Right.
Just think about it. If they knew Christ was coming back tomorrow, you know what they would do? You know what the Christian pastors would do? Anybody know? Anybody got an idea what they would do? Go ahead.
Would they keep running?
Huh?
Would they keep having church?
Are you serious?
I don't know.
When they keep having church, they knew Christ was coming back tomorrow. If they knew Christ was coming back tomorrow, you know what they would do? They would go to the mayors and all of them to see what could be done about it. What did they do? What did the government, what did the Christian pastors do during the time of Christ? Who did they go to? They went to the Romans and all of that to see what could be done about him. So if they knew he was coming back tomorrow, what would the Christian pastors do? The Christian pastors will join up with every level of government and military and everything to see what they can do to stop him. That's what they would do. So what does that tell you? The white man's spirit is the Christian pastor's spirit.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So when the city gets attacked, right, and people start boarding up stuff, the Christian church start boarding up stuff too. They start shutting down. And they don't have to be told to shut down, do they? They don't have to be told to shut down.
Right.
They do it on their own, following behind their master.
Right.
You know, they do it on their own. Now, if they was really of God, it would seem like they would be the light shining, right? Well, didn't Christ say who light a candle and hide it up under a bushel?
Okay.
So if it's dark, that means their candle should be lit. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. So this shows everybody that they're not of God. This shows everybody that the Christian church is not of God.
Right.
Why can't they stop the COVID? Where all the laying of hands and all of those miracles and stuff that they were doing and throwing their jacket at people and making everybody swoon and fall over? Where all that power at now? When you need it. When people is dying of COVID-19. Go ahead.
Slack yourself, amen.
Yeah, exactly.
Salaki, sir.
I thought she was right there the whole time.
So leading up to Amos 3 and 6, even if you were to start at the beginning, just to give people kind of the context of it, so they can see this is something that, like the alarms have been rung, like the bells have been rung, the trumpets been blown.
Right.
So just to kind of skim through it real quick, hear this word that the Most High has spoken against you, O children of Israel. So this is a warning to Israel.
Right.
And verse 2, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Verse 3, can two walk together except they be agreed? Verse 4, will a lion roar in the forest when he hath no prey? And just to see if I'm correct on this, the people that have been preying on us, like we the prey in this instance.
Right.
Because otherwise that lion wouldn't have been making no noise. Like they wouldn't have been sounding their banners, sounding their trumpets,
right,
if they didn't have us as a prey.
Right.
Because this ain't talking about Moab, this ain't talking about Ammon, this ain't talking about Ishmael.
Right.
This is a word against Israel.
Right.
A message against
Now
Israel.
think about it. Also, to look at how many of Israel hate what's going on,
right,
as far as with the rioting in the cities. Look at how many of them hate it. But you know why? Because they're so terrified that things are going to change. If we keep rioting, it's gonna be something that's going to definitely happen. Something's going to have to be done, which is going to bring about change. They always talk of that hope and change shit when it comes to Barack Obama or something like that, But now with the rioting, that's going to force if it keeps on happening like that, it's going to force a real change to where this place is not going to look like it's been looked like before. It's not going to be the same. Things are going to change. They're terrified of that damn change. Because that change is not going to go in the favor of the slave master. Go here.
And that leads into verse 5 too. Can a bird fall into a snare upon the earth where no gen is for him? Like we fell into that trap.
Right.
Obama was that trap for us.
Right. Yeah.
Clinton was that trap before him.
Right.
And we fell into that shit.
Right. Right into it and bought into it, hook, line, and sinker. Right.
And that definitely set up, the whole LGBT community was on its rise, on its civil rights movement before then, but Obama definitely kicked that off.
Yeah.
And that, we thinking that he's one of us.
Right. And you know what? In 2007, 2008, you better not say nothing bad about Obama.
Oh yeah.
Niggas would be ready to kill you. Niggas would be ready to kill you. And me, I wasn't nowhere near the truth or nothing, but I knew this was bad. I didn't have enough sense to know that this is bad, for us, And notice how many black people got killed by the police under his watch, and none of them went to prison. None of them. And so they want to talk about, black men in a powerful position. No, power. Being in a powerful position means you have the ability to say no to something you don't want to do.
Right.
If Barack Obama had any power and he's not gay and he don't support gayness, they sit there trying to tell him, do this for the LGBT. Hell no, I ain't doing that. I ain't supporting that. Mm-hmm. And if he had power, they would have no choice to be like, trying to maybe talk him into it.
No, he go ahead.
It's like to piggyback off of what you're saying, which finishes the rest of 5, because of that track that you elaborating on. Shall one take up a snare from the earth and have taken nothing at all?
Right.
Like they set that trap.
Right.
They didn't bring that mechanism. Like Obama, for example, they didn't bring Obama out of play until they caught their prey.
Right.
So that shit worked. Like they got something out of it.
Yeah.
After that, they was able to remove him.
Right. Yeah. Just threw him on the way when they didn't need him anymore. you know, and then put a total idiot into the White House after they got everything set in play like they wanted to, you know. The war on masculinity is lost. It's lost. You know, that war on masculinity is lost. The Black Lives Matter movement, a lot of them run around hollering Black Lives Matter is gay.
Yeah.
You know, they are gay. They're led by a lesbian women and a white man. How the hell are you gonna get black revolution or rebuild out of that? Not gonna rebuild anything. George Soros, he's the one that funded the damn Black Lives Matter movement.
Yeah,
you know,
devil, right?
Right. The rich devil, rich Amalekite.
Well, so like, you said devil?
Right.
I meant to say Peckerwood.
Peckerwood. Yeah. A Peckerwood Amalekite.
A pink toe, so.
Right, a pink toe.
Right.
Caveman, right. Right, a troglodyte.
Think about it.
Right. Okay, any more on that scripture?
It's like just at the end of it. Shall there be evil in a city, and the Lord, it's like, and the Most High hath not done it?
But the Most High has done it. The Most High uses sinners to punish the wicked.
Right.
The Most High did it many times throughout the scripture. Doesn't use the wicked to punish the wicked.
Right.
Well, who's to say that the Most High sometimes wouldn't use the wicked of his people to punish the heathens? Sometimes he do. You know what I'm saying? Because not all gun battles, what are battles between a cop and a black man, end up in the death of the black man. Sometimes it ends up in the death of the cop. So we got to kind of think about that. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, we quick to know, you know, that if a black man gets shot down by the cops, oh, okay, he sinned against the Lord, such and such. But what if the black man ends up shooting the cop and killing him?
Right.
Now you gotta put God, you can't just take God out of that. You know what I'm saying? We act like if black man shoot the cop, you know, especially like these fake Israelite groups, like the purple punks and everything, they believe that if the cop shoots the black man, well, it's because he was in it, and he was in it, and they blaze on the dead black man.
Right.
All right? But then they'll say God, and they'll put God all in that. But then if a black man ends up shooting the cop, then they take God out of it. It's just an insane rage, silverback Negro. God ain't got nothing to do with that. Maybe it was, you know, God was using that sinful black man to punish that devil. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. Moses wasn't in the truth when he killed the Egyptian, was he?
Nah, and so like, he was on the run too.
All right.
Yeah, he had a warrant.
Right. And you ever notice, did the Lord charge Moses with the murder?
Nah.
No. He never did. You know what I'm saying? Even though it was wrong for him to kill the Egyptian, but at the same time, that put a smile on the Lord's face. Even though it was wrong for him to do, because, you know, and all of that. And then when they put a smile on the Lord's face, because now the Lord's like, yeah, I got my leader for them. I got my leader for my people. Right there. So, boy.
I was gonna say, and then after that, he did show Moses the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What he did, how he could have, should have, would have handled it, but he showed him the difference.
Right. But what he was looking at, the love that Moses had for his brothers, which drove him to kill the damn Egyptian. And what did the Most High ended up doing later on? Killing them damn Egyptians. You know what I'm saying? You know. So if a black man shoots down the damn police, what is the Lord going to do in the future? It's not going to be us. What is the Lord going to do in the future?
He's going to kill them.
Huh?
He's going to kill them.
Yes. What was that guy's name? The brother in New York that he was selling dope for the cops. He was a big time drug dealer for the cops, and the cops were his hit team. They forced him to sell drugs.
Mm-hmm.
He was a dope dealer already. You know who I'm talking about?
Sounds familiar. I can't think of his name.
Larry. His name was Larry something.
You ain't talking about Larry Hoover.
No.
Which time frame are you speaking about?
This is like 80s, the 80s.
Larry Who was back in the 80s too.
Yeah, you ain't talking about Ricky,
No, not him. No, he wasn't gunning down the cops.
Hold on.
It was the brother, and the thing about it was he was out of New York. The police had forced him to sell drugs for them, right? And in return, what they would do for him is make sure that he was the top drug dealer. Go ahead.
Larry Davis and Adam
That's him.
Hakim.
That's him.
So it's two of them. Larry Davis, Adam Abdul Hakim.
Okay, all right. I know about Larry Davis.
Yeah.
I really don't know a whole lot about the Hakeem brother.
Yeah.
But but the thing about with Larry Davis, he was damn on some superheroes.
Yeah, he was doing it in the Bronx.
Right,
That's what it
right.
says, in the Bronx, yeah.
The thing about it, he didn't want to sell dope for that. What they was doing was they was hitting all of his competition. They were murdering all of his competition and everything so that he would be the top dog. And he was selling for them. They was selling through him. So they would limit any rivals that he had or whatever, they would kill him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they would just wipe him out to make sure that he was the top dog. And he knew about this, and his conscience was just eating him alive. And he's like, man, look, y'all can try to kill me or whatever, I'm not selling no more dope for y'all. You know, well, they came after him. And they came after him, and he was being able to be hidden out in different projects and different, you know what I'm saying? And they, ended up going in on, he found where he was at, and ended up going, he was staying with like his sister and her husband, and they kicked the door in and came through, and he shot like 3 or 4 of them. Something like that.
He shot who?
About 3 or 4 cops.
6.
6.
1986.
Right, right.
So he got a shoot in the Bronx. He got into a shootout with them, and 6 cops got shot.
Right.
Yeah.
He shot like 3 one time in one apartment. When they came for him.
Yeah.
And the thing about it, that brother lived. He just died just a few years ago.
Yeah, and I think the cops that got shot, they ended up dying because they it says murder, aggravated assault. This was listed at May 28th. It was 1986.
So now we got to think about it.
Yeah.
Whose side was the Lord on? His or theirs? He was a sinner. He was a drug dealer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of times, so now with these riots and everything, I'm not saying that it's cool to go out and break out windows or loot, do any of that stuff. But I'm just saying, you can read that part again, evil in the city.
Shots like it. Amos, chapter 3, verse 6. Middle of verse 6. Shall there be evil in the city, and the Most High hath not done it?
There you go. So, who's doing this? Who's causing the riots to go everywhere? The Most High is causing unrest. He's making it a situation to where they can't get comfortable.
Right.
To where things are not going back to normal. The numbers of COVID is still shooting up.
Mm-hmm.
And there was also a school shooting.
Yeah.
So now, think about it. What did they say? Because it was youngsters that were looting and stuff like that. So they said the solution would be reopening the schools to try and get everybody to the schools. Now there's a school shooting. Right? So now there's no comfort there either.
Right.
Go ahead. In Knoxville, Tennessee, where I was born at. Right. Yeah, the school shooting right there in Knoxville, Tennessee. Now think about it. Now they got to think about that problem.
Right.
Because it could be copycats coming right behind that in other cities and everything and putting everyone in fear. Go ahead, keep reading.
Verse 7. Surely the Most High Power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets.
Who are they? Anybody? Go ahead.
The generals, captains, officers, the priests and prophets of the U.P.K.
That's right. Clap it up. And the thing about it is, these things must happen.
Right.
They must happen. They have to happen. You know, they have to happen. These things have to happen. It's happened like this with any empire that the Lord has brought down.
Right.
When the Most High brought down Rome, what the hell do we think was going on then? Right?
Right.
Well, let me show you in the next verse. Let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 4. Now, we know that Apostle Paul lived at a time right before Rome was really starting to feel the crunch of falling. Right? And say history repeats itself. This is the new Rome. So it's got to get a lot of the same shit as the old Rome.
Right.
Right?
That's right.
2 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 4. Great is my boldness of speech toward you. Great is my glorifying of you.
Because Apostle Paul was, a leader, he was a leader and he was an epistle, giving instruction to the schools during that time. Right? Go ahead.
I am filled with comfort. I am exceeding joyful.
And he said he's filled with comfort. Means trust in the Most High. Because this is also a perilous time going on in Corinth. Go ahead.
I am exceeding joyful in all our tribulation.
You said Corinth?
In Corinth.
Corinth?
Corinth. That was the name of the place.
Yeah, you just based on how you said it, I'm like Corinth or Corinth?
Corinth.
Oh, okay. I was making sure I heard it right.
Yeah.
I was making sure. So like,
my Negro tongue.
yeah, so like I be watching your videos and my rib was like, it's rock country as hell. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, definitely, yeah. But it's just that country tongue, you know what I mean? Yeah. I was making sure I heard you right, you know what I mean?
Grammar.
I'm trying to I'm just trying to make sure I ain't saying it right. Wrong, you know what I mean? So yeah.
I don't know exactly how to say it. Corinth or Corinth.
I just always heard everyone else say Corinth. We say Corinthians. Ephesians, Ephesia. So, yeah. But no, either way, shit. Tomato, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's pick back up.
Same verse.
Right.
Second Corinthians chapter 7 verse 4. Great is my boldness of speech toward you. Great is my glory. I am filled with comfort.
Because they standing strong. Go ahead.
I am exceeding joyful in all our tribulation. Verse 5. For when we were come into Macedonia.
Because we were in Macedonia also. Like you had a lot of brothers in Macedonia. That's why we was called, another reason why we was called Greeks. Mm-hmm. Because Macedonia is part of Greece. Yeah. That's where Alexander the Greeks was born at, where his father ruled. Okay. Macedonia. Go ahead. There was Negroes there.
Our flesh had no rest, but we were troubled on every side.
Troubled on every side. Go ahead.
Without were fightings.
Without outside was fightings. Outside of the congregation of the people of the Lord, there were fightings. What's happening outside the I.S.U.P.K right now?
Right.
Fightings. Trouble. But our leaders are what? Comforted. Why? Because they see their soldiers standing strong. Same thing the Apostle Paul was going through. Same thing. And this is right before the fall of Rome. This is right before the fall of America. The new Rome. Go ahead.
Within were fears.
Within were fears. Not among us, but inside the so-called black community are fears. Because what is everybody afraid of? Right? They're afraid of America falling.
Right.
They're afraid of, right outside of here, inside the black community, everybody inside the black community is scared because they scared of that change. They talk all that change shit while Obama was in office. But now a real change is getting ready to happen and they're afraid. People are afraid that they might be the next victim to get shot by the cops. Right. Or it might be their son or daughter. Because things are intensifying now, but back in the day, it was only black men getting shot by the police. Back in like the 90s, the early 90s and all of that, it was only black men getting shot down by the police. But now it's black women being shot down by the police too. Right. And they don't give a damn, and they, and they'll turn on kids and all of that too. They don't care because what they see is boy nigga, girl nigga, big nigga, little nigga. That's what they see, They don't, our children is not looked at as real children.
John, I mean, once again, with the brother, Deontay Wright, he was only 20 years old. And, I posted a scripture from Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 50, where it talks about, a fierce countenance that doesn't regard the old nor the young.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter.
Young. He was only,
he a baby. You know what I mean? 20 years old, he a child. You know what I mean? He a baby. You know what I mean? I mean, not a child, but it's looked like as a baby.
Right.
You know what I mean? He just got out of his teens. He had a child of his own and a rib and everything that all left behind.
Right.
And then the little girl getting choked. Like that's like you choking an infant.
Right.
Good night. Like you're supposed to be a cop, supposed to be there to protect.
Right.
But of course, we can't trust in our enemy.
Right.
And that's what everybody needs to know. But I did have an additional precept for you though.
Okay.
Based on what you said as far as fear, right? 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. For God hath not given us the spirit of fear,
right,
but of power and of love and of a sound mind.
And that spirit is inside the I.S.U.P.K.
Absolutely.
That's the thing that's going to make us attractive in this time
Damn
of
right.
fears.
Most
attractive because people don't like to be afraid. People don't like to be afraid. You can do experiment in a room, where everybody in the room will be scared about something, but the dude that's in the room, another dude that's in the room, he's not afraid. So now people is looking at him. Some gonna be pissed off at him. Nigga, don't you know what's going on? What's happening? Some gonna be pissed off at him for not being afraid, but then the others gonna be like, damn, what does he know that we don't know?
Right. Right.
That's gonna make him attractive.
Right.
That's gonna make people come to him to see how they can not be afraid too. That's the thing that's gonna make the I.S.U.P.K. attractive in these times. Do I want the rioting to stop? No.
Right.
No, I don't. Right. I don't want it to stop. I want it to keep going. Keep turning shit up. You know what I'm saying? Because if that's not happening, what do? We go back to sleep. And we'll get argued with more and persecuted now, but now it's getting to the point where people ain't gonna have no choice but to listen now. Because these fears and stuff is gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse and worse and worse and worse. When I say keep turning the goddamn city up. Now, I'm not telling nobody, no individual that they should do that. But what I'm saying is the evil in the city, the Lord is doing it. And we pray all the time for the Lord to destroy the Pati Komatazi and the gay movie, the lesbian movie, the spies, witchcraft, It's starting to happen now. Those prayers are starting to be answered now.
Right.
It's a good time for us. It's a time where America is being brought to its knees, like it's supposed to be.
It's like if I could, like with that as well, like just based on what you said as far as fear. like if everybody, instead of everybody being in fear of America being destroyed, they should be really in fear of what the Most High is really going to do.
Yes.
So it's better to switch that, channel that fear to putting fear in the Most High.
Right.
Because we already know where it says like what is it, Matthew 5:28, when it talks about don't be afraid of the person that kills the body, but kills the body and soul in hell.
Right.
So like, don't be partakers of this world.
Right.
Don't worry about America. Worry about yourself.
Right.
See what I'm saying? And when I say yourself, not your individuality of yourself,
Right.
but your people.
Your people.
There you go. Yeah, worry about what's going to happen to y'all.
Right.
Because when you fear the Most High, you're not afraid of nothing else.
Right.
Because you know that you have a hedge and protection. But the outsiders, when we say the outsiders, we're talking about the strangers, the heathens. It's a different story for them.
Right.
And don't worry about them. That's their business that they have with the Most High.
Right.
Worry about your business with the Most High.
Right.
And that's the whole purpose. Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah, right. Ain't no time to be the Gentiles. You the one needed. The Gentiles ain't the one getting their damn heads blown off by the cops. It's you.
Yeah, no sweat. I got
You know, it's your people that's doing that's getting that. That type of treatment. And then also too, you know, because I done heard people say things like, well, you know, I done heard dark skinned people like the one brother Tommy Sotomayor say things like, the people I see getting shot down are the people of my complexion. I don't give a damn about that.
Damn.
That brother had a white mouth. He was a mixed light skinned brother, and just like the brother that got killed right on in Indianapolis, like last year I think it was, the brother that was in his car.
Yeah.
And the police gunned him down.
You talking about? You talking about recently, or you talking about Keith Lamont Scott? Oh no, you know what? That was North Carolina. It's like, I know who you're talking about. He was sleeping in his car, and the police rode up on him. And as soon as he starts moving, they start shooting in his car.
No, this brother was driving.
Oh, okay,
he was driving the car.
Okay.
It was like he was calling somebody on the phone. Somebody come get my stupid ass. You know, he's saying stuff like that. Light skinned brother, he had light eyes and everything. They don't give a damn about, you know, any of that.
It's like, you're right about that, because we gotta think about we have dark skinned and, you know, Hispanics and light skinned Hispanics. All of them that's getting killed. Same thing with the Gadites.
They ain't giving a damn.
Come on, man.
Right.
Is it because of that team, light skin, team, dark skin?
Yeah, all of that.
All that shit started with slavery. It started in slavery.
Right. Yeah, because one thing
house
about
nigga, field nigga.
Right. One thing about light skinned people have always tried to separate themselves from black people. Always try. That's why they started the Blue Vein Society and stuff like that. The Blue Vein Society was
The females got it bad too, but the men have it bad too, because the women started it, and they want the men to go into it too, like, hey, let's do this.
Yeah, but then you got to also look too, because a lot of light-skinned brothers and sisters got a heathen mother.
Right.
You know, got heathen mothers, or you know, sometimes they just come from they just come from a light-skinned family where you got, you know, their mother and father were both light-skinned, and they have a whole light-skinned family and all of that stuff, you know. But they
also too, Salaki, you got the influence of Esau. I know a big thing growing up in the school system. A lot of people used to always ask people that are light skinned, like, you must have white in you and stuff like that. And it's like what it does. It really causes a lot of confusion. I mean, there's many devices that has been used against none of that shit matters.
Right.
If you're Israel, you're Israel. If you're not, you're not.
Right.
See what I'm saying? That shit never stop anything. Right. And even in the scriptures, like, you have certain details of how some brothers and sisters were mistaken for being a different nation because of how they look. Like, you had Paul who was being arrested. He was like, "Are you Egyptian?" Blah blah blah. He's like, "No, like, nah, like, I'm a Jew. I'm a Benjamite. I believe Paul's a Benjamite." Right. You see what I'm saying? You have other examples in the Bible, but people throw shit in the earth to where, like, it causes confusion. You see, it's many different ways that they do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But slavery, that house, it's no different than a house nigga and a field nigga.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Another reason they looked at Apostle Paul as an Egyptian because of his status and everything. When he was doing the same thing that a Pharaoh would do.
But I think they asked him if he was a Greek. My bad. I think I missed. I didn't say that
No,
wrong.
they asked him if he was that Egyptian.
Okay,
that did such and such.
Okay.
That pretty much persecuted the ones that follow Christ. That's the way that they looked at him. Okay. They looked at him like Pharaoh because he had the same type of power of a Pharaoh, working up under the Pharisees to kill the Hebrews that followed Christ. You know, it'd be just like today, like say for instance, you have a police that some type of police chief that has nothing but wrath on black people and everything. You know, you're gonna look at him like a damn Pharaoh. You know, a lot of people will probably even call him something like that.
As far as that high status, I know what you mean. But also too, you know, long story short, also too, like a lot of people in the world try to discuss the topic of, you know, the light skin versus dark skin thing. Like you know, some people have joked about it. You see what I'm saying? But then some people take it to a whole nother level to where it becomes a real issue.
Right.
Where it divides us as a people. Yeah. But we have to understand that there's self-hatred amongst Israel in general.
Right.
Amongst the you know, actually, it's a very famous YouTube video. I'm still like, not YouTube, World Star Hip Hop video of self-hatred amongst both dark-skinned and light-skinned people, and it's so disgusting. And then their hatred for both because of sometimes traumatic experiences or what they was taught by family.
Right.
And then, you know, it's a whole long list of other things as well, and it's very, very disgusting. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, I'll say for sure in the U.P.K, we ain't got that issue.
Right.
We ain't got that issue. I don't care if your ass was blue. Right. As long as I know that you're Israelite, that's all I need to know.
Right. It's just like the educated blacks versus the uneducated blacks. You know, it's similar to that, you know.
Exactly. It's always
similar
something
to that. Right. Just like in that red pill society or whatever, they got what they call the high value man, and then the Pookie and Ray Ray. They done sat there and made we real good with creating enemies for us among our own. We are professionals at creating enemies. We don't make an enemy where it ain't one. You know what I'm saying? We'll make an enemy out of that. This is like that light skin, dark skin thing. It might start out as something seeming like it's fun and all of this, but it could turn into something. You know,
it's like I keep speaking. It's like also too, just on top of Brotherhood, the scripture where it talks about how can you say that you love your brother. I mean, it's like how can you say that you love the Most High but you don't love your brother? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I mean? When we're always trying to divide each other.
Right.
That's not love. That's hatred.
Right.
And that's action based. It's hatred.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So how can we say we love each other when we're doing many things to divide each other? And but then again, we love the Most High. The Most High is not about this. Right. But Satan is. What?
Can you go ahead and hold it?
Yeah, I got you. No, yeah, I got you. No, so you talk. You mind grabbing that for me? No. The scripture where it talks about it is in John. No, 1 John. 1 John, I forget where it's at. Where it talks about, you know what I mean, how pretty much how do you say that you love the Most High when you hate your brother? I believe it's 1 John. You got it? It's the 4th chapter? No sweat through it. I appreciate that, yeah. That's what I need right there. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, how can you say that you love your brother when a light-skinned, dark-skinned conversation is going to, you know, disrupt the relationship amongst the nation? See what I'm saying? That's, once again, that's why we have to kill that spirit of hatred. How do we know that there's a problem? Because of many situations that happen in the earth. Go ahead.
That's how a lot of the beef and fights start.
And it's dumb, yeah. Now, you know, us, like, we would make the joke, but we are not serious behind it. It's just a joke. You know what I mean? Like, you know, that's that light skin stuff.
That's that. And all that stuff and wearing nails
and also too. Right. Also, and all of it is really just self-hatred. Like, I've seen it to the point where I even see the other nations, see what I'm saying, even believe in that, you know, that stigma
Right.
See what I'm saying? And it's just
Like,
garbage.
that's us. Like, that's how we.
Right. And it's not. Yeah. And it's not. But you mind getting that real quick? The water.
1 John chapter 4, verse 20. If a man say, I love Yahweh, and hated his brother, he is a liar.
And that's what makes you a liar. That's one of the many things that makes you a liar. Saying that you love the Most High, but you hate the people, the same people that the Most High has chosen, which is also you. You are in that category. Whether you're light-skinned, dark-skinned, whether one leg jumps, the other is frail, you are the same people.
Right.
Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American are the same people.
Right.
It doesn't matter, if your hair is a little different, as long as you are the goddamn Israelite, that's all that matters.
That's right.
If you was blue, green, orange, it doesn't matter. If you are a brother, you are a brother. That's the whole point. All right? It's like. You know, I miss teaching Tuesday. I'm about to kick y'all out, man. Yeah.
2 Corinthians, let's finish up the scripture. Time going by so fast.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to go just a little bit, you can. You know what I mean? I already talked to the camp as far as the curfew and shit like that. Don't worry about that. Too much.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 4. Great is my boldness of speech toward you. Great is my glorifying of you. I am filled with comfort. I am exceeding joyful in all our tribulation. Verse 5. For when we were coming to Macedonia, our flesh had no rest, but we were troubled on every side, with outward fightings, within were fears.
Right. Okay, now let's go to Psalms 14 and 4. Go back down, man, it's a devil in the Bible speaks.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians understand in order to rebuild, we have to be separate.
Right.
We have to understand, the war, slavery, we lost that.
Right.
So what do people do when they lose a war? They have to separate and regroup.
Right.
That's what everybody that gets their behinds kicked in the war, what do they do?
Separate, yeah.
Right.
They separate, get stronger, and come back.
Right. We've also lost the war on masculinity.
Right.
That's the reason why, people are running around with skinny jeans on. Men that are straight having skinny jeans on. That's the spoils of war. That's not the war on masculinity. The war, we done got our ass kicked.
Right.
That's the spoils of war. This is the spoils of war when you see the mother putting little plaques, the little pink ribbons in her little boy's hair and putting their little son in a dress and putting the shit on Facebook. That right there is not the war. That's the spoils. That's the loss of you getting your behind kicked in the war being rubbed in your face. That's the spoils of war right there. Go ahead.
Psalms chapter 14, verse 4. Have all the workers of iniquity no knowledge? Who eat up my people as they eat bread?
Who eat up the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Who is these people right here? Every other heathen.
Right.
Heathens that we don't even think about benefit off of us, regardless of whether we're in their country or not. Regardless of whether we're in their country or not. Now think about it for a second. Now, if we used to separate, what would have to happen with them? They would have to turn on one another.
Right.
Because we get off drugs, like with DMX, being, on drugs and everything. Just like the point I was making about the tribe of Judah earlier. DMX, the man of the tribe of Judah, right? DMX, big star. DMX died of cocaine use. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What did they do? They used men like that to promote drug use. You know, he's being used as a pawn. Right? In the Christian church, is somebody that makes you feel good all while you being used clear up until you die.
Yeah. So like, I'm glad you said that. I mean, so like, if I could just give you a hand real quick. Actually, I really want to, if I could, I really want to say how important that is because, once again, when someone dies and you go to the funeral, everyone always speaks about what led up to this person's death.
Right.
See what I'm saying? And it kind of reminds me of Martin Luther King a little bit. Niggas and white people really didn't like Martin Luther King. Right. But they use his image as a propaganda.
Right.
See what I'm saying? They're gonna do the same thing with DMX.
Perfect example.
They're gonna do the same thing with DMX and say like, oh, he was a legend. I remember meeting him this one time. You know, he was good. You know, took a picture with my daughter, my child, etc. But they never talk about the issue that took his life.
Right.
You have to kill that.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I mean? We need to make sure that the next upcoming stars don't end up like DMX.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? So no one ever, thinks of that. You see what I'm saying? Right. Same thing with holidays. Okay, we've been celebrating all these holidays for all this long, but why? Right. Have you ever questioned that? Right. Have you ever attacked the issue?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. And it kills it. It's like, okay, Juice WRLD died. DMX died. This person died. They all died from tragic things that are unlawful. Maybe we should stop that.
Right.
And maybe he could have lived to be 60, 70 years old. He died at 50.
Right.
And that's still young as hell.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I guess we're all in the code. We don't know shit.
Right. Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's like I was just gonna say, like those examples definitely fit in with Amos in 3, even starting from 1 all the way through 6, and I believe 9. Like
absolutely, I know.
Snares that they set,
the
things that we fell into, they wouldn't have had to pray if their snares, their traps didn't work.
Yeah, you know what too? I'm glad you said that as well, because I watch the Breakfast Club every morning, right? And so they was talking about DMX and of course the other people that recently just died who are big, pretty famous, shit like that. Another thing that comes to mind too is that a lot of people always say, "Ooh, I wish I did something while he was still here."
Right.
Everyone knew this nigga was on drugs.
Right.
You drive that spirit out of him. Right. See what I'm saying? You attack the problem right then and there.
Right.
And you put in their head the fear that if you don't stop, this is your life.
Right.
And and just how GEN.YAHANNA said, if DMX really loved his children, his family, he would have got off of drugs.
Yes.
Because once again, like GEN.YAHANNA said, our bodies, it's not for us.
Right.
It's the Most High. Also, too, when you talk about marriage, too, just sidebar, when Paul said, the woman's body is not her body, the man's body is not his body. It's for each other.
Right.
We're talking about our body as a temple.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, but go ahead. You want to say something?
I was just going to say, like, and even before DMX, like...
Just anybody that died from drugs, bad life.
He died from that in our time.
Right.
He's known people that died from that in his time.
Thank you.
Before that, we've seen these trumpets being sounded, but we don't take those instances as serious. We don't take them as that trumpet. Right. We don't take Rodney King as a trumpet.
Right.
We don't take Emmett Till as a trumpet.
Right.
We gotta wait till Trayvon Martin get murdered. We gotta wait till George Floyd get murdered. We gotta wait till the brother named
Deontay Wright. Yeah.
We gotta wait till him. But we still don't even see that as a trumpet because we think Black Lives Matter is gonna sound the horn for us.
Right. And then at the same time too, Black Lives Matter don't have no moral standard for your government. Think about it. You got a group that's led by a white man and a lesbian black woman. So that means they can accept everything. Pedophiles, all of that. All of that can become part of Black Lives Matter.
And then you got people, if I may, you got people within that I can't even say they're in that organization, but that try to, rock that banner too. they're not even with that same shit.
Right.
Like they're gonna have friction even within themselves.
Right.
So
So
they're
who's
gonna
gonna be
have
the
that
leader?
fighting without.
Right.
They're gonna have that fear within.
Right. Yeah. So who? Then here's another thing too. Is they gonna be, jockeying for who the hell gonna be the leader?
Right.
Dude's the leader of this band. He's the leader of that band. And then
It's like it also too, which both y'all just said, just remind me of the goddamn Proud Boys.
Yeah.
With Commander GEN.YAHANNA.
Yeah.
Then these niggas make news because there was some friction within them. We don't make the news. If we do make the news, it's something that's that's glorified. It's good.
right.
But these niggas making news because they committing crimes.
Right.
The Proud Boys.
Right.
Black Lives Matter.
Right.
The goddamn Black Panther movement.
Right.
And then you have the new Black Panther movement, which is disgusting because you got your enemy in there with you.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you got all type of disgusting sin in there as well.
And women as their leaders too.
Yeah.
You got lesbians leading them, acting like dudes. They really they just they're damn near like a biker gang without the bikes. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, my woman or women's, you know what I'm saying, can lead, my food for me. You see what I'm saying? But as far as a group, no.
They got women over chapters to show
Come on,
everybody just how race neutral they are. You're gonna win a war like that, trying to be race neutral. Get the hell out of here.
Jabbar would be so proud.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, because they put God as their leader, right?
No, he's right. He's
Yeah,
right.
they got God leaders. The black woman.
Put on a dress, and that's why he fled to Africa because of the money. Blah blah blah. They're trying to sell him out and all that stuff.
Right.
But then, who brought it out was Captain Kataza. And when I watched the SNL, I just watched the skit that he did. I forget the whole scenario of it. But they switched his body to where it's on a woman's body.
Now remember,
Like, come on, man.
David Chappelle and Kevin Hart both talked about how they would not wear a dress. That is proof that we done lost the damn, the damn manhood war. That is proof that this place, you ain't gonna fix America. America's not gonna be turned back into being masculine and all of that. Is not gonna happen. That gay LGBT stuff got too much power behind it. Right. It's the power of Satan's behind it, inside Satan's kingdom.
Right.
Now, when you got a man that you know is straight and you can still make him wear a dress, now they didn't put David Chappelle in the dress, but they was like, well, maybe he don't like the dress just yet. So now they put a woman's head, his head on a woman's body, put his head on a damn woman's body, as if they pretty much making him wear the dress anyway. And David Chappelle's like, well, he's not put on no dress though, but let him get away with that. That's proof that we done lost the war of masculinity, because look at the people that we look up to. They sat there putting them in dresses. That right there is that's not a war on masculinity. That's the aftermath that you get your ass kicked. You know what I'm saying? That's the aftermath, boy.
That's that Salaki again in Amos, like that. That's one thing that just kept on kind of kicking up in Amos chapter 3. Where is it? So this is chapter 3, verse 4. Will a lion roar in the forest when he hath no prey? Like, they got their prey.
Yeah.
They know it.
Yeah. Right.
And then with will a young lion cry out of his den if he hath taken nothing? Like he showed his reward for it. He talked about it. He prayed about it.
Right.
They kicked up dust over that joint.
Right.
And
Yeah.
they got him to at least consent to your face superimposed on a wedding dress or on a female body.
Right. They did that with, I remember way back in the day, the first time I ever seen that done, they did it with Larry Johnson. Everybody remember the basketball player Larry Johnson?
I heard that name before, but
They had him in a dress and dunking and all of that.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, Larry Johnson, he used to play for UNLV. He was known for like being strong and powerful and masculine, and they put him in a dress, had him in a commercial
Yeah, kind of, or the same basketball player where he married himself, who has all the piercings at the
Dennis
cocaine
Rodman.
addiction.
Yeah, Dennis Rodman. Yeah, he sure did.
Yeah, he married himself. Yeah, the ones that got the piercings and the cocaine addiction.
Right.
Yeah, he got the big, like, no homo, got the big fat ass lips, just you know, like, go ahead.
Recently, Maya, she did the same thing.
Maya.
Yeah.
Wait, Maya? Who's Maya?
Yeah, Maya, the singer, everything. Man, I used to be crazy about it.
You still there?
I can't sing that shit, but like Maya, like she was big, like
Yeah.
2000.
Wait, Maya what?
I don't know her last name, but she was a singer.
Yeah, she was singing like Good
I feel like I heard that
Leah
before.
and all of them.
Right.
If you look
Yeah.
up
Right.
Superstar, that was one of her big ones.
You want to show you right here?
Yeah, her.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I know you're talking about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so that goes to show you the war on masculinity has done been lost. So when you lose a war, what do you got to do? What do? The loser of the war, what they do is they separate themselves.
Right.
That's just natural. They separate themselves because now there's a small group, right? They just got dusted off real bad. You know, they go back to regroup and to rebuild. You know, and a lot of the times they go back. Most of the time they go back to the place of their origin, the place that they all center around. You know, the place like when during the time of the scriptures when Moab got their behind kicked in the war real bad or whatever, they would go back to like Rabbah, you know, places like that to rebuild. The Esau, when he got done real bad, you know, where did he go? You know, he went back to, you know, Mount Seir, of course, to rebuild and hid off in the mountains and everything. You know, to rebuild. What did they do during the time of Rome fell when, you know, we was running things, we was ruling things, they didn't want to be around. The Edomites went and hid up in the caves. It became the cavemen clear up until they can learn to talk again.
Some of the Dark Ages.
Right.
Yeah,
clear up until, you know, until they can learn to talk again, you know, and all of that, and stand up straight, you know, again. And then they came down out of the mountains and killed every damn thing moving. Right? Well, what we got to do is separate. You can't be integrated and rebuild. You can't be integrated. You know what I'm saying? You're just only going to just get picked off inside that integration. That's all that's going to happen. That's the reason why you got the George Floyds and all that. When you separate, they have to have a reason to come at you now. They have to have a reason. And that's how the Lord can put a hedge of protection over you. They have to have a reason because, you know, they got to find something. They got to find some sin that you're doing. They got to find something, you know. If we doing drugs, if we stop we're not doing drugs, what will they have to do with the drugs that they keep trying to push to us? You know where those drugs will be? They'll be sitting somewhere in a goddamn corner somewhere in big, huge, gigantic drug mountain piles, and nobody taking it, right? So what would they be forced to do? Being the fact that ain't nobody taking the damn drugs. What do they got to do? What do they got to do now? They got to come back and retrieve their own damn drugs. And what do they got to, because they got to sell them? They got to sell them somewhere. Where do they take them back to sell them at? If they can't sell them to you? Anybody know?
Their own city, their own place.
Yes.
Yeah.
They got to go to their own place to sell them now. So what does it cause them to do? It's going to cause them to fight each other over dominance over the damn drug gang. It's going to cause them to die of more drugs because the same damn drugs that was pushed to us is now pushed to them. So way more of them will die off the drug use than us. You know what I'm saying? Well, it won't be none of us dying off of it. But it will be a lot of them dying and killing each other over it. It'll start to look like the goddamn book of Eli. Go ahead.
And then it's going to become an actual problem.
Right.
Then we need a solution.
Right. And what only solution that they can come up with, the only solution that they're going to be able to come up with is to try to find a way to get the drugs back to us.
Right.
That's the only solution that they're ever going to come up with. So now, if they come up to that solution and we are turning away the damn drugs, It's now it's permeated inside us not to do no goddamn drugs. What did they have to do then? The same damn thing that they had to do before. Go get the drugs and bring them right back to their community. You know what I'm saying? Just like a roach motel. The infected roach go in and affect the others. You know what I'm saying? You know, they go among the roaches and affect the other roaches and they all die. You know, they don't have to do that. Let's get to the scriptures though. We press the time.
It's not 5 hours if you still want to grab a few more.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go to I'm gonna kind of speed through this kind of quick. Let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 5 and verse 1. The war on masculinity ain't no war on masculinity anymore. It's not one. Masculinity has been defeated. Go ahead.
It's like you say Ezra's or Esdras?
Second Ezra is apocryphal.
Ezra is just one book.
Right.
First or second Esdras. Yeah, I know, you fine.
You know, the war on masculinity has been lost. America's fallen. The way that we, you know, this system and everything that we see right now, and unfortunately, a whole lot of our people is going to fall with it. Right. You know.
Pico Press.
Yeah, right. The Pico Press is the devil of the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
He's the deceiver on the earth.
Right.
Go ahead. We got to do what any logical thinking person would do during a time when somebody loses a war. We got to separate, go, rebuild on our own value system, which is the value system of the Bible. You got the apocryphal or whatever?
It's fine. I'll take care of it. 2nd Ezra chapter 5 verse 1. Nevertheless, as coming the tokens, behold.
What is a token? Anybody know what a token is? Go ahead. No, token in this context is a sign. You know. Yeah, in this context, it's a sign.
Keep going. Nevertheless, as come the day shall come that they which dwell upon earth shall be taken in a great number.
What's happening right now? The COVID-19 and all other stuff that's happening. The World War III definitely being on the brink. Believe that. Like I was saying before, China just gave $400 billion to Iran. What do we think Iran's going to do with that? It's nuke time. You know what I'm saying? God. It's nuke time. You know, that's what they're gonna spend that whole. I bet you they spend that whole $400 billion on nuclear weapons. I bet. And at the same time, too, look at the lavish gift that China's also given to Iran, because now Iran has access to Chinese technology. Yeah. On top of the, you know, think about that for a second. Iran has direct access now from their agreement, and this is a 25-year peace deal between the two. 25 years is the minimum, you know. And if they wanted to, here's the thing, it ain't even going to take 25 years for World War III to crack off.
Say it again?
I said that peace agreement between them is for 25 years, and it's not going to take 25 years for World War III to crack off. So what is this pretty much saying? Right? And that $400 billion that they gave to Iran is a nice lavish gift, but then they also have another, it comes with a bonus. Access to Chinese technology. You know what I'm saying? Access to Chinese technology, the same way that China and Korea and all of them make their nuclear weapons. Now Iran has the same ability. All right. Go ahead. Let's keep going.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. Just read from the top.
Second Ezra, chapter 5, verse 1. Nevertheless, as concerning the tokens, behold, the day shall come that they which dwell upon earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith.
Check out who's the truth. Look at who the truth is hidden through. The truth is hidden from Black Lives Matter.
Okay.
And all of those groups, and unfortunately, it's hidden from the brothers and sisters that's rioting and all of that. You know, it's hidden from them also, because how are people looking at us? Because the one thing they don't have the ability to even judge us righteously, because you know they're looking at a lot of the things that a lot of the methods that we use and trying to deem them as being unrighteous, but they don't see the result. They don't see people getting off of drugs.
Right.
Black Lives Matter ain't getting no goddamn body off no damn drugs. Right? The Christian church damn sure ain't getting nobody off drugs.
Right.
You know, they telling you, come as you are. They make you feel good while you on them. You know, you go smoke the crack and then you go get you some spiritual crack.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, hell, you just going from one drug to the next.
Right.
You know, and then back out the street to that drug, and then back again to the spiritual drug. Next. Go ahead.
Verse 2. But iniquity shall be increased above that which now thou seest, or that thou hast heard long ago.
Ain't that the time we living in now?
Right.
Ain't that the exact time we living in now? Where is Ezra seeing? He's seeing us right now.
Right.
Go ahead.
Verse 3. In the land that thou seest now to have root, shalt thou see wasted suddenly.
Jerusalem, wasted. 70 AD. You know, wasted suddenly. The Roman armies came down and just put a total end to the state of Jerusalem. And notice it said also too, that thou seest now to have root. Remember when the scripture would have said, I should cause the remnant of Jerusalem to take root downward and bear fruit upward, means we will be ran out of our land and down into Africa, which is south of Jerusalem.
Right.
Because if you plant something, it has to go down to take root.
Right.
All right, go ahead.
Verse 4. But if the Most High grant thee to live, thou shalt see after the third trumpet, that the sun shall suddenly shine again in the night.
The sun is shining in the night, right? Ain't it shining in the night? Because we're in a time of darkness, and the men of the Lord are out there on the streets as a light. What does the scripture say? The law is light, right? What is the sun known for? Producing light. Notice it said the sun should shine at night. When Christ came, and gave, and fulfilled the law, the sun was shining in a time of darkness where Rome was ruling. And it parallel with the time that we live in right now, before his return, is a time of darkness, and the Lord got his prophets out as the sun. Go ahead.
And the moon thrice in the day.
And the moon thrice in the day. Now, notice what is the moon for? It's to produce light at night. But now people seeing it in the daytime while everybody's going in their jollity, doing whatever it is, that they're doing in the daytime. To them, it's a bright sunny day. It's hope for America. I'm ready to go smoke this blunt. I'm ready to go do this. I know it all. It's daylight to me. I know it all. But then they see that light that's supposed to be just there in the night. They see it in the day, which they see us right in the midst of their jollity. Where is that scripture when it said, thou shalt hear a voice behind thee saying, this is the way, walk ye in it? The scripture when it said, this is the way, walk ye in it, it's in Isaiah 28, I think it is. Can somebody pull that?
So I say it one more time.
Saying this is the way, walk ye in it. You go to Google right quick.
Think about the straight gate when
This is what I say right here.
30 and 21.
I think it's it. Start off.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Yeah. Isaiah chapter 30, verse 21. And thine ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying, This is the way, walk ye in it. When ye turn to the right hand, and when ye turn to the left.
But why are you hearing the word behind you? You're hearing the word behind you because that's where the I.S.U.P.K got camp set up at, and you going about your normal day. You know, everything is, you ready to go to that good slavery that's paying you $50 an hour. You know, go ahead.
It sounds like pretty much what you're saying, like a priest that was like prophesying to the wind.
Right.
Because you're walking, you know, up and down.
Right, up and down. Yeah, you're hearing the voice behind you because you ain't trying to hear that shit. Right? You ain't trying to hear it. You going to your good. It's the daytime.
Right.
Right?
Right, yeah.
What need for it is a light in the daytime, right? It's daytime. It's bright out here.
Right.
Right? But yet they see something that produces light, you know, in the dark, and they're seeing it in the day. You know, they seeing it and they heard the voice behind them because they trying to get away from the voice because they loving their life. To them, it's a bright, sunny day. Everything's clear. The birds is chirping. Things is going good. There's no sense in them hearing what's going on behind them now, right? Go ahead.
Verse 5. And blood shall drop out of wood.
Whoa, that's a deep one right there. Can anybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
I respect that.
All right, I'll let you know. I mean, I broke down Ezra's. And that's Ezra's, right?
Yeah, come.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't gonna break down. Go ahead.
I think we might be on the same page, though. When they shall worship at the wood.
But notice it says blood shall come out of the wood.
And now, it's like it, and this is where I was going to try to follow it up, right? It's like, so verse 5, and blood shall drop out of wood, and the stone shall give his voice, and the people shall be troubled. So now we got that verse about them worshiping the wood.
Wood and stone, right? You on to it. You park there, right? Now, when it says you shall worship gods of wood and of stone, now, also remember what it said, you shall be slain upon your idols, right? Anybody ever heard the song Strange Fruit?
Of course.
Right? The strange fruit. When they talk about black bodies swinging in the wind. Now think about it. The people are bleeding, right?
Yes.
The people are bleeding. That's, you know, we known for worshiping the God to hang us on wood in the trees, right? They said blood should come out of the wood because now the world has to be, you know, this testifies against the world of what they did to black, Hispanics, and Native Indians. That's why we don't let it go. That's why we got pictures hanging up and stuff like that of black people being hanging from trees. And what is this? This is an offense to everybody, right? This is an offense to white people and all of the white people that did it, right? Blood coming out of the wood because where did Abel's blood come from? Right? His blood cried about the ground where he was slain at, right? We were slain on them trees, and even looking at it literally, right? The blood drips down, hold your point, sis. Blood drips down off of the person. The blood drips on the ground. What's on the ground? Roots. The roots act like the veins in your arm. Whatever you shoot inside them veins is going to go up through your body, right? So with the veins, with the roots being like veins, when the blood drips off from the slaves that got hung up on them trees and the ground absorbs it and it gets inside the root, where does it go up to? It goes up inside the tree. Think about it. The tree has the ability to preserve sap. Without the tree, the sap would stale, just like anything else, right? It's the tree that gives the sap life, that preserves it, right? So what is being preserved up in the trees? Anybody know where the slaves was hanged for it? Blood. Blood. The blood of them slaves. Read that part again where it said blood should come out of the wood.
Verse 5. And blood shall drop out of wood, and the stone shall give his voice.
And the stone shall give his voice. Why is that? It's very similar. Why is that? Anybody? Go ahead.
And then this may be, I won't be too broad with it, but similar to how Abel's blood cried out from the ground.
Yes, you own it.
The lands in which people have been murdered on.
Right, but think about the stone, though. Think about the stone. In history, what were they known for doing with black babies?
Dashing against the stone.
Exactly. Right. Cutting the baby out of the black woman's stomach, grabbing the baby by his feet, and smacking him up against a stone to read the part of the stone with you. Read that part again.
And the stone shall give his voice.
What was the baby doing?
Right.
Yeah. Now we know sound can embed inside wall. I'm getting into a little bit of science here. Also, because you're going into a little bit of science here. Sound never gets destroyed.
Right.
You ever heard the saying, if these walls could talk?
Right.
What were walls made out of in ancient times? They were made of stone.
Right.
So whatever said, and so those cries of those babies, right? Where they at?
In the stone.
Inside the stone.
Because sound travels.
Sound travels. That's the reason why sound can come off of a CD. Sound can come out of a cassette tape. That's just a little piece of tape. It's under the same concept. If you could pull the sound out of walls, right? If you could pull the sound out of walls, you can hear everything that was ever said in those walls, and it's going to bear witness. The crying babies and all of that from these stones is going to bear witness against the people that dashed them up against them. You see what I'm saying?
Now, to be quite honest, what you're saying is actually it's true on a whole nother level. As far as science and archaeology, that's very true. They just it's a brother by the name of Dekaya. He had a video on Instagram how someone's dead body that was in a tomb or something like that. Some scientists did something to where they didn't preserve him or anything like that. They did something to where what the fuck is it called? They did something to where like they was able to get some sound out of his tombstone or something like that.
Yeah.
And it displayed a voice, but I mean it was kind of funny because it was a weird ass noise. But I mean that's true, and I heard that in science class and all that stuff too. And as crazy as it sounds, it's very true. Yeah.
Right.
So
sound don't get destroyed. You can't destroy sound. Just like you can't destroy water.
Right.
You burn water, boil water, it goes up, vapors and all of that stuff, but the stuff is not, it can't, certain things just can't be destroyed.
Kind of like they say, Christ's force is like many waters.
Right.
As you know, when we hear an ocean and things of that sort, it's loud. Yes, it may be, far away, but you can still hear it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Passion, like the water, going against the rocks.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You can hear it.
Right.
Now, honestly, to be quite honest, we live by a lake, right?
Right.
We live by a lake, and when you're walking towards the store, you can hear it, the lake.
Right.
See what I'm saying? You can hear the water, stuff like that, besides the cars and things of that sort. People riding their bikes and scooters, you can hear it.
Right.
It's sound travels, so.
Right, yeah, it does. And then when sound hits something,
it makes a noise.
Yeah, it goes inside what it hits.
Yeah.
It don't just turn, you know what I'm saying? It don't turn, it ain't gotta do that. It don't just turn around and go around it. It goes in it.
Yeah.
So Read that part again with the stone.
What's the precept again? Second Ezra's what?
Second.
And blood shall drop out of wood, and the stone shall give his voice, and the people shall be troubled.
Think about it, yeah, because all of what we bringing out about us being hanged from the trees and the dancing against the stones and all of that, because now that with all of this going on, now the people are troubled. All the prayers, all the stuff, the street speakings and everything that we've been doing since 1969. Right? Now the kingdom's troubled. Right? Okay, go ahead.
Verse 6. And even he shall rule whom they look not for that.
Hold on. Chop it up. And even he shall rule. Stop it there.
Right.
Even he shall rule whom they
not look for.
Right, who they have not looked for.
That
now think about this for a second. Back in the 80s, who the hell would have thought Donald Trump would get in office?
Right.
You know that? Who would have thought that he would be? Nobody was looking for him.
Right.
Nobody pointed out Donald Trump. You know what? President one day. He'll make a great president.
Right.
No, nobody was looking at him. They looked at other damn people. Hell, they looked at Jesse Jackson before they look at him. You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, lo and behold, you got this rich idiot, the billionaire casino mafia idiot running the country. George W. Bush, who the hell was looking at him? They remember his father, but who the hell was looking at him? The damn mentally challenged dude of the family. You know what I'm saying? The guy that couldn't even said, we need to spread all our love with all the BGYONs. You know, anybody remember that? And everybody made fun of that. It's like, ugh. You know, idiots is being put in over here. This is the rulers who they look not for, right? And that's the time that we're living in now. You know, because who the hell's going to be the next president after Biden? You know what everybody's going to look for? Who the hell is the biggest idiot out there?
Right.
You know, who's the biggest idiot? You know, this dude is you know what I'm saying? They're going to be looking at Pauly Shore. They're going to be looking at anybody. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to be looking at the smartest dudes.
Right.
The military general from the Marines. They're not going to be looking for anybody like that. They're going to be looking for some damn idiot to lead the country. And females. Okay, let's finish it off with this last scripture right here, verse 7.
Okay, will come. And the Sodomite seed shall cast out fish.
What is the Sodomite seed? Anybody watch GEN.YAHANNA's class? Go ahead.
No, I was laughing.
All right, I'm going to get this from the shack. I kind of read ahead a little bit, so I don't want to get too far of myself. But all right. So the Sodomites, the seed being the people, the Sodomites being the homosexual representative or the homosexual adjective kind of be placed on that group of people, that sea of people.
Yeah, right. You know, straight people. You know, use the example. Straight people that have to accept gayness.
Right.
You know, that's the Sodomite-ish, see, because everybody in it ain't gay. But at the same time, you know, homosexuality is the standard of that society. So even people that are not gay are affected by it. That's why straight dudes is wearing skinny jeans.
Right.
He like women. He don't like dudes, but he's gayish.
Yeah, I mean, homosexuality is the new straight.
Right, exactly. You know,
yeah, as sad as it is, some people try to fit into the trend or the criteria.
Right.
What's going on right now?
They're not gay, but gay friendly. You know?
Right. Yeah.
All right.
Feminist, yeah.
Okay, let's keep going.
And the sodomite sea shall cast out fish.
What are the fish? Does anybody know? Go ahead.
Your Lil Nas X. Yeah.
No. The sodomite sea ain't casting them out. Lil Nas X is with the program. So why would the sea cast him out?
Is it the people in the world?
No, the fish. Let's see who the fish are. Matter of fact, let's go to Jeremiah 16:16 right quick. We're gonna find out who the fish are right quick. We'll speed it up if we press the time. Let's go to Jeremiah 16:16. We're gonna find who the fish are.
Perfect.
You got a comment?
No. I'm saying I know already what you're pulling. Yeah. Great minds think alike. I think we both nerds when it comes to studying.
You might be able to pull it up faster on that. Thank you. You got it.
You got it. Yeah.
Okay. 16 and 16.
Right.
Yeah.
Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 16. Behold, I will send for many fishers.
Many fishers. So who are the fish? Huh? What? Right. Fishing is men. Men. Men that are coming into the truth. Let's go to Matthew 4:19 to further prove that point. This goes back to what I was saying with the woman masculinity already being lost.
Matthew chapter 4, verse 19. And he said unto them, follow me, and I will make you fishers of men.
Yes, fishers of men. So what are the fish? The fish are men, right? Go ahead.
The men that are being brought into the truth.
Right. The men that want to be men. Also, the men that really want to be men. That don't want to be sodomites. That don't want to be sodomish. That don't want to be a friend of the world. Right. The men that want to now. Let's go back to the verse 7 again.
Verse 7. And the second Ezra chapter 5 verse 7. And the sodomite sea shall cast out fish.
Now think about it. They're casting out manliness. They're casting them out, and just like what GEN.YAHANNA was saying, when fish are cast out of the sea, they're left upon the shores to die. Have you seen anybody ever seen like where they say it'd be a plague where the fish is cast out of the sea? Mm-hmm. So those that casting out of the fish is men that want to be men. The men that are in the I.S.U.P.K, we're cast out of the world. We're cast out. They don't want us. We're toxic. These fish that it's talking about in there are toxic to the sodomite sea. So the sodomite sea cast them out. So, being a fact, like I was saying, we done lost the war of masculinity and we're cast out of the sodomite sea. Now, what is the time for the fish to do? It's time for the fish to all come together their own time. Right? Them, bring the families in, bring the ribs in, right? Regroup, rebuild. Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off with that, but that sounds like the rest of verse 7. And make a noise in the night which many have not known, but they shall all hear the
Okay,
voice
take your time with that. Take your time with that, because I'm going to break that part down too. Go ahead, take your time with that.
SKYPE. And the sodomite sea shall cast out fish, and make a noise in the night.
And make a noise in the night, in the time where, in the dark time, they're making a noise. What noise is that? The noise of LTB, I still can't get that damn acronym.
A, B, to C.
Right, yeah, the ABC, the gay community protesting and all of that, commercials and all of that. If you come up against, you say anything bad about it, all of this is the noise that's made at night. This upheaval of gay rights and gay pride. There's outspoken stuff for every damn thing that's evil. Women having a voice. Women gotta have a voice. They gotta have an opinion while the man is told to be quiet. Right. This is the voice, and this is the voice right there coming out of the sodomy sea. Go ahead, keep going.
Which many have not known.
Which many have not known. Why did people not know? Because 100 years ago, nobody talked like that. You see what I'm saying? 50, 60 years ago, nobody talked that. Nobody talked that shit. 50, 60 years ago. Read that part again.
And it's like, in the sodomite sea shall cast out fish and make a noise in the night, which many have not known.
Which many have not known. A new voice. Christian church, God is doing a new thing. The Christian church. Anybody heard that?
Yeah.
God is doing a new thing. Go ahead.
Or otherwise, won't God do it?
Right, won't God do it? Yes, he will.
Yeah.
And all those little catchphrases that they use while Kirk Franklin's screwing every goddamn boy inside the, in his ministry. That's right, and include his own damn son. Yeah, making his son a punk reading leader. Prepping him. You know what I'm saying? Now, can't take my joy, devil. Remember that song, Make Me Eat Water? All of this is the voice. Read that part about the voice again.
It's like, and making noise in the night, which many have not known.
Many have not known. The people didn't know that voice. Like I said, nobody spoke that stuff 50, 60 years ago. We, a lot of the people that, my age and everything and up have not heard this. We didn't hear this voice back in the day. You know what I'm saying? If a person was gay, they hid it.
Yeah.
But now they the loudest thing on the block. Right? Mm-hmm. That's the voice that many have not heard and the support system that they got behind them. With it all over the damn television, all over social media. You can't come against that voice. That's the voice that many have not. Go ahead.
But they shall all hear the voice thereof.
Yes. Everybody hears it.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody, regardless of whether you want to hear it or not.
Right.
Regardless of whatever country it is, whatever place on the damn earth, you hear that voice. That voice hits all societies. It hits the whole damn earth, the whole world, whatever world that you're in. It hits the Arab world. It hits everybody hears the voice. Everybody. Any more on that?
Now, that was the end of 7, verse 8. I think that'll give us another hour or two worth of work.
Right.
That was a nice question.
And with that being said, we have the I.S.U.P.K coming out of 1 West on the 25th Street, Harlem, New York, and the commanding Gen.YAHANNA. Pay your tithes, support this truth. Be at the Passover, April 24th in Houston, Texas, at B&H Ranch. And with that being said, I'm about to pass the class over to priest and officer among the bar.
I.S.U.P.K security announcements. Okay. Well, the I.S.U.P.K started out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are here to be saluted only. They are here to show themselves to the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to He or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6-month period There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find it in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. It means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Most High gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. You can still go to ISUPK.com, scroll down to the Donate Now button. You can pay your tithes, make donations in that way. If you have the Zelle app, you can, the first name would be Israelite School, the last name UPK, the email tithes at ISUPK.com. And you can pay tithes and make donations in that way also. Upcoming holy convocations. Again, we got Passover coming up, April 24th. It's going to be on a Saturday in Houston, Texas, B&H Ranch. You know, make your, like, we're at the drop of a dime at this point. Like, we're a week and a half out, I think, right now. But, like, it's going to happen that fast. Get your travel arrangements done. Get your hotel lodging arrangements done. Connect with the brothers and sisters in your region and see how, you know, that can be facilitated. $200 per individual, 17 and up. 16 and under, get in free. Any brother wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black. That means your boots, your shirt, your pant, your headband, and or scarf. And with that, upon your hop with domes, we turn to face the east. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. You can find this in Matthew chapter 6, verses 8 through 13. Abinawa, Shabashamayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakutka, Taba'ah, Batazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'aratazah, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Nathan, Lanawa, Lakan, Call, Yawam, Wasalak Lanawa, Kabawak Nawa, Kasalak Nawa, Kabawak Yanawa, Wala'ah, Tabiya'a Nawa, Badasai 1, Abal, Hawashai Nawa, Mayan, Rad, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Wahala, Wahata Para, La'awlamim, Aman.
English. Our Father,
which art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
Yahweh.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it.
Pray to bless Israel in Hebrew. Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua. Barak Lanawa. Waya Shalom. Wahab. Bayat Sapari. Barak. Rapa'ah. Magan. Hagan. This time you can say the name of a loved one once. Everyone will repeat that name once. If you're following us on Facebook or on YouTube, you can type in the name of a loved one. We'll send the prayers up with you.
I.S.U.P.K, Minnesota.
I.S.U.P.K, Minnesota. The generals. The captains. Israelite School U.P.K.
U.P.K.
Benjamin. Jamie.
Annalie.
Whitney. Raphael. McIntosh family. Yakudash.
Yakudash.
Tazayad and his son Kawan.
Tazayan, the son, woman.
Kayala.
Kayala.
Azaryala.
Azariah.
Young man B.
Young man B.
All of Israel.
All of Israel.
I.S.U.P.K. Minneapolis. House of Awesome Torah. D. Janai. King. Jamai. Ian. Irma. Monique. Kenneth. Monet.
I.S.U.P.K. Indiana.
I.S.U.P.K. Indiana.
I.S.U.P.K. Kentucky.
I.S.U.P.K. Kentucky. All of Israel. Checking on here real quick. I don't see anybody on YouTube. I see nothing on Facebook. Shalom Israel. Ba'ashim Yahushua.
Ba'ashim Yahushua.
Du'ara Aman.
Du'ara Aman. In the English. Lord, in the name of Yahushua.
Lord, in the name of Yahushua.
Bless us.
Bless us.
And Israel.
And Israel.
And the school.
And the school.
Bless.
Bless.
Heal.
Heal.
Shield.
Shield.
Protect.
Protect.
Loved ones.
Loved ones.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
Blessed be Yahweh.
Blessed be Yahweh.
King of heaven and earth.
King of heaven and earth.
And all things living.
And all things living.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Listen to us now.
Listen to us now.
Right now.
Right now.
Say the evils and curses.
Evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
Punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
That speak against us.
That speak against us.
Thy prophets.
Thy prophets.
Teachers.
Teachers.
The princes.
Princes.
Priests.
The priests.
The Israelite brothers.
Israelite brothers.
And the school.
And the school.
Say evils and curses.
And evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
Punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
And shake loose the treasure.
You shake loose the treasure.
Of the rich of Israel.
Of the rich of Israel.
That refuse to give to the school.
That refuse to give to the school.
Force their riches.
Force their riches.
To enter thy sanctuary.
Enter thy sanctuary.
Say evils and curses.
And evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
Punishment and destruction.
To the Edomites.
To the Edomites.
And the nation.
And the nation.
And their drug
And
dealers.
their drug dealers.
The court system.
The court system.
Prison system.
Prison system.
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood.
All the governments of our enemies.
All the governments of our enemies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic Church.
Pope.
The Pope.
Islam.
Islam.
Christianity.
Christianity.
Egyptology.
Egyptology.
Militia.
Militia.
Ku Klux Klan.
Ku Klux Klan.
Every nation.
Every nation.
Skinheads.
Skinheads.
Posse Comitatus.
Possible Mataji.
Gay movement.
The gay movement.
Lesbian
The
movement.
lesbian movement.
Spies.
Spies.
Workers of witchcraft.
Workers of witchcraft.
NASA space program.
That's the space program.
Army.
Army.
Navy.
Navy.
Air Force.
Air Force.
Marine.
Marines.
Wall Street.
Wall Street.
Open up the internet.
Open up the internet.
And the airwaves.
And the airwaves.
Cable access channel.
Cable access channel.
And the radio
And
channel.
the radio channel.
Convict the spirit
Convict the
of
spirit
any of our people
of any of our people
seek to stop
that
us
seek to stop us
and bring swift destruction
and bring swift
to
destruction
all the heathen.
to all the heathen.
Stand in the way.
Stand in the way.
Try to stop
Or
us
try to stop
from
us
broadcasting your word
broadcasting your word
throughout the planet Earth.
throughout the planet Earth.
Let loose all the plagues.
Let loose all the plagues.
Cause them to go to and fro
Cause them to go to and fro
through the earth
through the earth
and consume
and
them.
consume them.
Let the plague shake
Let the plague shake
the house of the thief
the house of thief
and the murder.
and the murder.
The Yahushua,
The Yahushua,
Michael and Gabriel,
Michael and Gabriel,
down with the flying saucer
down here with the fly
and
saucers.
punish all the heathen
Punish all the
that
heathen
come up against
that
us
come up against
as we
us
speak thy word.
as we speak thy words.
Cause it be known by all
Cause it to be known by all
that it's the angels that have done it.
it's the angels that have done it.
Cause it be spread through the media
Cause it to be spread through the media
throughout the whole world.
throughout the whole world.
Cause it shaketh thy coming.
Cause it to shake it thy coming.
In the name of Yahushua,
In the Yahushua,
thank you always.
you always.
So be it.
So be it.
Sar, sir, of Israel, Amar Shabbat, Marja, Barak, Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatan, Yazbatah, give a courtesy salute to the sisters, men of Israel, Amar Shabbat, Marja, Barak, Yahweh Shema Adam Barshem Yahushua.
Shalom, Yahweh, Shalom,
Y'all for time, class dismissed.